Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Discussing Fruit Magazine, the Fruit Magazine commentary. Behind Fruit Magazine, the Fruit Magazine story. Here we have Mallory. Fruit, it's the second issue.
It's the second issue
that
now.
We're discussing.
Yeah, so this issue is the Pridefest issue from 2025. This is the first issue that I decided to like really break the mold of the sort of covers that I have. Usually it's just like big old fruit in one of the corners and then little subheaders of like who's in the magazine and stuff like this. But this issue is the first one where we had a nonprofit properly partner with us and like give us some money to print some issues. We partnered with Glow for this one. So I wanted to give a lot of credence from as far as the design goes to them, and that shook out to be Matt. Matt Brown's now on our editing team, and he was a major part of this one being made. He made the lion emblem on the front, and then, okay, so he didn't take the pictures, but that's him right there, behind the fruit. I got a few of these pictures from the background from a few photo shoots that we did for Pridefest leading up because the theme was yearbook and I wanted it to look as much like a yearbook as possible, which really comes around full circle because I first got acquainted with like book layout and design like that through publications class where I helped make my high school yearbook. So yeah, let's crack her open. So on the interior cover, this is Chris Johnson. They're one of our frequent contributors. They've read at a lot of our readings. And for this issue, we took their self-love letters. And since they're letters, I thought it would really be cute if they were handwritten and they're on the interior covers, sort of the way that we would like sign our yearbooks back in the day. So yeah, on the front and the back cover, there are self-love letters from Chris Johnson.
Aw, cute.
Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the like credits on this one like first, since it's like less interesting, and I talked about it for the last issue kind of at length, but it's really starting to be like a really full page, which I love to see. We've got our co-editors and like our sections for sponsors and Ko-Fi supporters, as well as some special thanks for like some of the other organizations who have contributed to the project who don't get like as much thanks as I would have liked them to get. And I expanded the recommended reading list in this one. We included Faces, Q Image, and the Pink Underground's Pansy Papers in this one. Faces is a magazine made by St. Louis Metro Trans Umbrella Group. It's a big magazine, like 90 pages, all digital, that they did seasonally for quite a while. Q Image is made by a fellow trans femme magazine-ster. Her name's Amber. Don't remember her last name, but
she's iconic. She's just Amber.
She is
it's like
iconic.
Prince.
She's just Amber.
Or Madonna.
But you can find Q Image at like Glow Center and the Story House and Bookmarks. And then the Pansy Papers is the Pink Underground's monthly newsletter sort of thing. The Pink Underground was like kind of inspired by the historic Pansy Papers, which was made back in the 90s by a group of a few trans women just living in Springfield, doing their thing. I want to talk about the back cover too, since we're back here, because I love this back cover. Matt Brown also made this one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do they illustrate that whole thing?
I think that the illustration is a public domain piece. Matt did the word art for this one because he's been getting really into like hardcore word art. It says sick of seeing trans people, then gouge your eyes out, and I think that's so cute. Like the image is a public domain image of like Michael besting Satan, and I think that like the devil's like depiction in this one is so cool because you can see like the crab claws and like sea vermin like parts on them and stuff, and it's so neat.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, and then our bottom runner here becomes like standardized in this issue, so you can see who partnered with us for this issue. You can tell when the next issue's coming out, when the next deadline for submissions is, some logos. It's really starting to look like a real publication.
Hell yeah. It looks very official. I love all the glossy covers and back covers, and I guess for throughout the whole print.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah, that's OTC Print Shop. They gave us a really great deal, and then they didn't, but they're still the cheapest in town.
Hell yeah.
I recommend them if you're in Springfield. For our table of contents, Hunter Faust did these photographs, and I thought that this is just a really fitting picture. I love to have edge-to-edge images, and given that I had so much information that I wanted to talk about in this issue, I just thought that this picture of a little, like, bicycle pride flag that they got at 2024's Pride was pretty fitting. Whoosh. Here's some more of their artwork. And yeah, this is a pretty typical spread that I do for photographs. In this one especially, I start adding like borders, but in previous issues I haven't done that, and like Tyler doesn't do that in Temp Tats, so like I think that it's kind of a bad option to do it, but I really wanted to differentiate like where the different photographs are and like where they begin and end and stuff like that, especially because I'm overlaying black and white pictures on a color background.
Yeah, borders are fun, and they're necessary sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're so necessary here, but maybe they were.
They look good.
There's a lot of design issues in this one that I go back and forth on, you know?
I do know. I know what you mean, like, wholeheartedly. I want to change something as soon as I publish it.
Oh my god. With this magazine, you really just have to like be like, and that's the page. I'm not coming back to it.
Yeah.
And then your proofreader just find 5 things wrong with it, so you have to come back to it. But none of the things wrong are like the border. It's just a bunch of typos and shit.
Yeah. The border's fine.
So our first poem in here is from Huli. Huli read with us for our inaugural Fruit Bowl reading.
All right.
Yeah, my first foray into like live event planning, and it's something that I really didn't want to do. And at nearly every event, I say, I don't want to do this, I'm just doing this because people want to be here and will be here. And especially after T-Door last year, I've really warmed up to it. For our first couple of readings, I was like a nervous wreck. I had to put on the reading for my small press publications class, and then we did it at Alamo, and the team who helped me out with that is credited in the back of this issue, so thank you so much to my team from my small press publications class for helping me to put on our first reading. They did a great job. They had like tote bags with like fruit designs on them and stuff like that. The whole back lot was rented out, which was really cool for the Alamo Draft House. They did not give us the whole back lot for the second reading. We actually had to go read it out on the patio, which is like, why would I even bother reserving anything then?
Yeah.
But it still worked out, whatever. Yeah, so these are Huli's poems. A lot of our poets in this are featured in they're from the reading. And I find that the readings are really useful for gathering talent for the next issue. Like, sometimes for Fruit, you really gotta shake the art out of people, and if you have a prior reading, where it's like, if you're accepted for the reading, your piece will be considered for the next issue of Fruit, then it just helps you to have a stock of people to put in the magazine well before the thing is at its deadline. So I think obviously we're going to keep doing live events. As like hesitant as I was to do it initially, I've really come to like having them. So we're going to do our next one in April, I think, unless you count T-Dubs. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Cool. Stay tuned for live events.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so we love your team, and we're so grateful for them.
Yeah. And
this Fruit Bowl has allowed you to recruit more people for Fruit Magazine, which we love.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
And you're backpiling artists for future.
I really don't have that many
things.
backpiled. I kind of have I have interviews backpiled because those take a lot longer because I have to write them and transcribe them and stuff like that. But as far as artists go, I kind of try to just make room for everybody in every issue, which leads to some of them having more people and some of them having less people. I wish that I had more of a backlog of people, so I guess I have to just get used to saying no, at least on this issue, to some people, you know? In the past, how that shook out is like, well, my 2024 Halloween issue was 60 pages, which was super fun. I will never do it again. That was just, it took so long to print every issue, and like oh my god. It was really cool to be able to put together a book that big, but
At that point, it's an actual book.
It's a book. It's a book-ass book, yeah. Can't believe I didn't sell that one either. I don't know. I'll just move on from Huli's poems. This is a very like pink and green issue, and I don't know why specifically those were chosen as like the sort of like hypothetical high school for our Pride Yearbook theme, but I'm glad it is because my darling girlfriend Ivy's hair is green and my hair is pink, and we have a lot of pink and green stuff in our house now because we love watermelon. So yeah.
Perfectly fine color combination.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone will crucify you over that.
I should hope not. If you're gonna crucify me over that, just wait till you hear about my gender identity.
Sips coffee. Get a load of this. And we have another comic artist.
We've got another one from Powell. This one's really cool because I'm just gonna crack into it. This is a little bit of fruit fan art. It's like specifically about fruit. It's about Powell's feelings about being included in fruit. There's a freaking picture of a fruit magazine done in just like such like an adorable highlights, like sort of like style. I definitely felt pandered to in this one, but this comic was definitely where I discovered that I am susceptible to pandering.
Hell yeah, let's do some pandering.
Please don't pander to me,
cat.
I'll say yes.
I love this cat as well. That's a legendary cat find.
It's like looking like one of those medieval cats, where it's like, have you ever seen a cat before?
I love it. I love its strut. Hell yeah. I love all the comic artists that have been showcased so far.
I love to include comics. It's my favorite thing. Once again, if you do want to pander, send in a comic. You're almost bound to get in. Like,
send in a comic, why don't you?
They are my favorite thing to put in fruit because I love... Part of the reason that fruit has so many pictures in it is because some of my friends aren't very good readers. So I wanted them to have a book that they could look through and still enjoy. And that kind of makes it dyslexia friendly, I guess. I could just make the font big.
Yeah, you could just write the letters backwards, like all the words backwards and the letters flipped, and then it would be very dyslexia friendly.
Is that how dyslexia works?
Sometimes.
I got you. Well, Powell hand letters all of his stuff, so like, no. Get to read. I don't know. I almost don't on dyslexic people, but I'll do so at another time.
I mean, yeah, basically dyslexic people just have to work harder at reading and then get better. And then if they don't, then they'll lose it, which is where I'm at.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love reading.
I've been told that I could definitely pick better fonts for like the purposeness of like accessibility and stuff. I usually just always use Brandon Grotesque because it's a really simple and sans serif font that's good for body text and stuff like that. And it's what I used while I was working at the Council of Governments. It was my boss Ashwarya's favorite font, so like that was like a signal for me to be like, so the only fonts that we're going to use are Montserrat and Brandon Grotesque, huh? Okay, well. And now I really like them. I don't know. I'm just that sort of boring person. Those sort of jobs will do that to you, I guess.
Well, as long as they're not in cursive, they'll be just fine for dyslexic people.
Yeah, they're not in cursive.
Well, yeah, yeah.
So here's our Faces advertisement. We hardly ever get to include like full-page advertisements and stuff like that are made from people that aren't me, and I really love to do that because, like I said, talking about the last one, I really love the artistic element of advertisements, and Faces is a really great project. They showcase so many artists and so many resources, and they've got like big, long articles. Faces is a really cool magazine. I recommend them. You can find Fruit's advertisement there as well, because they're our friends.
Hell yeah.
And then we got Casper Spurko and Sugar Coffin Crafts, both of which are returning artists to Fruit. Casper was actually in our very first issue, which only had like 4 artists showcased.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so they've been around for like a long time. Sugar Coffin Crafts always has really great tables at like our local craft events, so I've wanted them in Fruit for like almost as long as I've been making Fruit. They've got like really adorable little business cards that are shaped like coffins and stuff, and they made this really cool trans mice, trans rights sticker.
Adorable.
Which, yeah.
Little coffins are the best.
They're very cute.
Just a little bit of death for a small consumption.
Just a little bit. I am not great at events pages because I'm bad at staying in the loop, genuinely, which is why it's like important for me to get better at that. One of my projects working at PFLAG these last 2 semesters has been like getting a proper like queer community calendar going, and it's been kind of a big fail, but like maybe one day it'll work. But events are kind of tough for me because they definitely do date a piece, and I like each issue of Fruit to be like enjoyable in its own right. So like I don't try to make too much of a big deal of like upcoming events and stuff like that, but it is also one of the easiest things to include. So like I do like to throw in flyers and stuff like that, and I think that like just my sort of like problem with it in this one is that it like gets a big old page. But I think it's a really cute spread. I think this is a really cute picture. You get to see some of my friends in it, and Glow wanted like for us to talk about some upcoming events that like they were posting, so like of course I was going to acquiesce to that. And then we've got a advertisement for Springfield Roller Girls. They have always done a wonderful like favor to us in distributing flyers for our Pride issues during their Show Me Skate tournaments. For this issue, they took 350 flyers, all of which had like QR codes to the website. So that's like 350 copies going out. I mean, maybe more because people can tell each other about it and stuff, and it's just the website. So yeah, but we always see our internet traffic or our website traffic spike by a lot whenever they distribute flyers. And I've been sitting on an interview with them for quite a while, which I think will go out in the next Pride issue because their season is typically like in the summer months. So the roller derby team has been like a very like dear like friend to my family for a long time. My dad refereed roller derby for 10 years, and my mom skated with them, and my brother skated with them, so I'm the last person in my family to not play roller derby.
Oh, wow.
And Susie over there has just been asking me, when are you going to join the team? And whenever I graduate, basically.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Pick up the torch.
You know it.
Pick up your father's sword. Go into battle.
More like my father's skates. Thankfully his feet are way bigger than mine.
Tiny swords on your skates. Make them more effective.
I might, don't tell me.
Hey.
This is my good friend Juno Benedict's second contribution to Fruit. It's a triptych. I think that she is a lovely writer. I met her during our writing class, and she just has like a really great like fairy tale, like, I keep using that as a descriptor, but like I'm very attached to old books and their illustration and their sort of like language that they use, but like she draws a lot from like folklore, specifically Russian and Scandinavian folklore for her stories, and there's always like a little hint of magical realism in her bits. So yeah, here's Lavender Cowboy's page in this issue of Fruit. I had a lot of fun with this one because he sent me a lot of like variation pictures on these gay as shit stickers, but I wanted to include every picture that he sent in, so I just kind of made this like little tiled mosaic piece, and I wanted to like make sure you could really see like the reflectiveness on like this bat and this fruit fly sticker. Yeah, this is his second contribution to Fruit.
Yeah, that's right. I like how they're interlaid like that.
Yeah. I always love doing big full-page spreads for photographers, and I love concert photography. The initial Pride edition of Fruit had my friend Liz Kincannon showcased, and for this one, my friend Ella took some pictures at Springstock, which is a music festival that happens here in Springfield. And I got to showcase some artists that I really like and some that I don't know as well, but mostly a photographer that I'm a big fan of. And I also really love how Minerva's hair looks in this picture. It looks like she's going Super Saiyan.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The legendary Super Saiyan.
Mm-hmm. Here's some poems from Mar. Mar was in our second Fruit Bowl reading as well as our Tidor reading. Mar is another one of the members of the Ghosts of Moon City, a poetry troupe who competes and such. While I was at the zine folding party the other day, Peter was discussing with me about publishing another poetry collection for the Ghosts of Moon City. They've done it before, and how, well, like the second project that I ever did in this big old book making foray of mine was a poetry collection for Peter, and I really enjoyed putting it together. I think that like poetry books are like really easy to lay out and like a lot of fun to lay out. Like I said, I don't like to waste like a whole lot of space, and like poetry is sort of a sore spot for me like that because like it more than narrative, I want to make sure it has like enough room for it to breathe and there's not a lot of distracting elements around it and stuff. So this one's a little bit more blank than I would have liked. Maybe I would have put like a fruit up here or something like that, but it's not really relevant to the poem, so I'd find it distracting. But yeah, Mara's a wonderful poet, and I can't wait to have them in the next issue.
Like even word placement and line placement on a page can be part of the poetry, so
yeah,
I understand what you're going for there.
That's another sore spot, because like sometimes the lines are really long and sometimes they aren't really long, so like it's always making sure that like the tone of the rhythm of the lines are like maintained, because I do really pack things into fruit, especially as like the issues go on. And like this issue still has the thing from the T-Dove 2025 issue, to where I wasn't quite used to working in a full magazine size yet, so I still made them for the half-size ones for readability's sake, basically. Here's Glow's spread. I really gave them a lot of room on this. These days we've sort of nailed down like what we give for our sponsors. Glow sponsored to have like 150 of these copies printed, which is a whole bunch. So they get a 2-page spread. I showcase some artwork, and I have a little blurb about Glow and a link to their website. Yeah.
We love Glow.
I was actually just working there this morning. Okay, here are a couple of my favorite examples of making advertisements. I think that these are not only like pretty simple, but like pretty effective. Kristen B. Stitchin and New Metal Fairy Sable are like returning fruit contributors, and they're crafters, so I really wanted to like find a format that showcases their crafts. So in this one, like instead of showcasing a bunch of pictures of their stuff, I decided to do zoomed in pictures of a few of their pieces. And I kind of think that it makes it more of like a traditional advertisement, what you might expect. And I think that like these like images are just really good images, and like showcasing like the subject of the piece, which is either like the bandanas and Christian's art, or like this necklace that Sable was sent in. I also think it's a really cute necklace because it's all trans colored, and I love that.
Yeah, very princess coated.
Yeah. So this piece from Sean Bowe. Sean is from all the way out in Los Angeles and found us through a lot of Googling, and he writes erotica. So in my last issue commentary, I was talking about like the piece that I like had a sort of sore spot with and that I censored, and this is that piece. It is erotica, but mostly just like introspective narrative, so I decided to censor it in like kind of a funny way with like the fruit lady's eyes, like our sort of like de facto mascot. I thought that was cute, and I only had to censor a few lines. Sean really thought that I was going to censor like 2 whole paragraphs. The really explicit scene and like the conversation like after, where they're like both like described as naked and stuff like that. I didn't really care about that though. This is just like the bit that was covered up was like quite explicit, like beyond even like an artistic nude or something like that. And like, especially the Pride issue, it's given out to like potentially kids and families and stuff like that. So I really felt like I had to like thread a needle in what I was like willing to show. But I took that opportunity to link readers to Fruit's website and Sean's website. So like I said, I go back and forth on whether or not that was the right thing to do. Ultimately, I think no, and I should have just showcased it as it is, because like, especially with the sponsors that I get, I don't think that the Glow Center is going to withdraw its sponsorship because I talk about, well, the authentic queer experience, basically. Not that I'm like planning on turning Fruit into a bunch of smut or anything like that, but if the community wants to put forth art that is a bit more boundary pushing like that, then it's really on me to not gatekeep and to be more of a platform than a judge of what is good art, you know? At least that's my current philosophy on it.
Yeah, it's your magazine. You can do whatever you want with it.
And that's exactly what people said whenever I asked them, should I censor this or should I not? And they're just like, it's really whatever you feel like doing. I don't know. I think that I was a bit like puffed up at this point, where I was like, I'm going to turn it into a nonprofit. I'm going to go for like big grant funding packages and stuff like that. And that would still be really good for the magazine, but the magazine kind of is all it needs to be as it is. We don't need thousands and thousands of dollars of funding. We just need a couple of hundred, which we're able to get by partnering with these organizations like we are. Like, we've already achieved our funding goal for getting the next batch of these big ones printed, and we used our advertising revenue to refill the ink on our big printer and all of that. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, we've got 3 ads bought by local resources in the next one, so I'm pretty excited about that. For these 3 issues, like, the mission was to just get one sponsor and, like, partner with a different organization each time. And I was kind of planning on doing that with this one. I was kind of planning on doing that with this one, but, like, a lot of people showed interest, and I don't want to fill Fruit with ads, but I am definitely willing to sacrifice a page and a half of space so that I can continue to give my contributors, like, hardcover copies and, like, have the capacity to keep making Fruit.
Yeah,
you know?
advertisements are good. There's nothing wrong with advertisements.
And it's not like a whole bunch of, like, lawyer advertisements either. It's all, like, queer resources.
It ain't Tolbert and Beetle.
Not yet. Though they did appear at P-Flag's brunch, so...
oh shit!
I am a little
Get 'em
bit.
in.
I'm a little bit worried that if I, like, start, like, really getting out there, that they would say yes and they would offer a lot of money.
Could do a big centerfold car accident? Question mark? With just their eyes.
That'll be the day. That would be really funny. If they would give me full reign on the design, I would probably do something like that.
Like one of their heads upside down here and the other one right side up, and they're just peeking.
God.
Car accident.
That would be really funny.
I can see it now.
I don't think that they're gonna, like, give me the opportunity. And then I opened up this commentary by talking about the credits page, so that's the whole Pride issue.
The credits page. We love the credits page.
Yeah.
Let's see the back. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
one more
that
time.
one. Yeah, we've already seen. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, stabbing out the devil. We
Only
love it.
one more for 2025.
Gang. All right, let's get into it.
Is that how we're ending that one?